Hello, dear friends. On behalf of organizing committee of High School Economics Global Scholarship Competition, I greet you. I can see that not many people are connected, so we will wait for a couple more minutes and we will start later. Okay, dear friends, we should start. I know that many of you will watch this video being recorded. Some of you will see it now, and hopefully some of you even will ask some questions. I'll try to introduce you our competition, the High School Global Scholarship Competition 2021 on mathematics. And my goal for today is to make the details of participation in the competition really clear for you, to give you an explanation how you can use your diplomas on the competition, use your good results, the details how you can take part in the competition, and also a brief review what to expect on the competition itself when you are writing it. So let me first introduce myself. My name is Andrei Gavriluk, and I'm head of the methodological committee. So basically it is the group of people who makes the tasks. and prepares all the necessary details inside our branch of the competition, inside the mathematical branch. So I'm in charge of preparing good competition for you. And what's next? So the very first question usually would be, why should I take part in this competition? How can I use it? Is it worthful? And like our answer is definitely like you should take part in the competition, because that's the way how you can enter higher school of economics in the really easy way. Of course, for those who get diplomas of the competition. If you check the website, you can see here some links from our official website, and if you check it, basically I think you already did, but what you can notice that at least 38 educational programs are admitting using results of the competition. That means that if you get any sort of diploma, like the first, the second, or the third diploma of the competition, it gives you immediately good approach to the programs, to the educational programs. Either it would be free admission to a faculty, to some educational program, or it will be a very good discount for studying there. And I'll try to show you another file now, to switch to another file, and explain what I mean by good discount and by this many of free admissions. So I'll show you two different files. One file is a normal one in English, but it's not just with mathematics. So I will just give you a brief overview. So you can see here that there are subjects denoted on the left, like different subjects of our competition. You may know that this competition, Global Scholarship Competition, is held in different subjects. And you can see here design, journalism, media communications. So these are not faculties, these are directions, like subjects of the competition. And you already can see that the second column is for the direction of degree program. So basically that is not faculty, but the educational program which you can enter. And the third column is like your it is like how good should you perform for get full tuition. And the fourth column is like your result for getting discount. and discount normally means 70% discount for the tuition. There is just one exception, probably I will mention it later. And hopefully this file should be downloadable. Yeah, it should be free for downloading, so you can do that and just watch. But just keep in mind that it is not the rule for this year. It is an example for the previous year. It's a very important detail because each year's regulations are decided by the end of the competition. So this year's rules will be fixed just in December of 2020, in the December of this year, and just at that moment you'll get the precise information which faculties, which educational programs will do these admissions and under which rules exactly. But I would say that these rules, like these examples of admissions, they are pretty much not uniform, but like just growing from year to year. So the rules are very likely to be very similar to these ones. And if you study this file better, you will see that there are 4 different campuses of our university. So sometimes you can see here in the second column Moscow. Sometimes you can see HSE University in Nizhny Novgorod. Also you can see HSE University in Perm and HSE University in St. Petersburg. So it is the same university, it's our alma mater, but it has like 4 probably headquarters or 4 campus in each of these big Russian cities, like in the capital, in the second capital, St. Petersburg, and in 2 major cities, Perm and Nizhny Novgorod. And you can see that the rules sometimes they differ. So, for example, here you can see that programs of mathematics in Moscow and in Nizhny Novgorod, they admit by pretty same rules. But if you look further, for example, software engineering, you can notice that software engineering in Moscow, it's, I would say, more rough. So it takes by more strict rules. So if you want to have free admission for software engineering in Moscow, you should be winner, right? According to this table and according to the rules of the previous year. And if you get silver or bronze, like second or third diploma, then you can apply for this very good like support. It's called not discount, but it's called let me find this. It's called financial aid, like in our vocabulary. So if you want to use your second or third diploma, you can apply for financial aid and get this 70% discount for your tuition fee. So that is sort of a hint. Like always we target for the best goal, and I advise you badly. So always try to do your best and not underestimate what you can earn, but like be ready to get that result which you will earn. So all of us, we want to be winners, but sometimes we get second or third. That doesn't mean you get lost. That doesn't mean that you lost your opportunity. You can just apply for for another option, and also you can try applying for the same direction but in different campus. So you have several options what to do. And you can see here that many directions, they take results of mathematical branch of our competition. And here it's not so surprising because it's like technical block. You can see that informatics, mathematics, computer science, computer security here, but also we have humanity sciences block, which also takes the results of mathematical competition, like linguistics, business informatics, like okay, it's also could be technical, management, psychology. Like it was a surprise for me, but they say that they need it for calculations, for estimations, for making like this pure scientific research together with statistics. You should be good in mathematics for that. So they also take results of mathematics for admitting to their faculty. So, sociology and some others. And also, I will show you another file. Sorry, it's in Russian, but it's also downloadable, and like somehow you can make some correspondences, and you can see in colors. So orange here stays for the first diploma. Yellow stays for first and second together. It's supposed to be also silver. So here is the legend. So orange is first, yellow is first and the second. This light blue is second diploma. Green is second and the third, and this light brown is for the third diploma, and it's sort of infographics, like just mathematical results of mathematics in terms of admissions. So you can see free entry here, the directions of educational programs here, and this financial aid or discount is here, which is normally 70% of admission, but there is one special program of 2 diplomas, very cool program for, like, let me remember, like it's a diploma. One diploma is earned at Faculty of Computer Science, like my native faculty, I would say, in Moscow, and the second diploma is earned from University College of London, if I'm not mistaken. So it's very modern, very cool program. I advise it for you, as well as many others, but it has slightly different rules. So it doesn't have free entry admission. It has just this discounted admission, and the conditions are slightly different. I just wanted to make this notice. It's not 70. It depends on the results. So if you're a winner, it will be 70. If you have second diploma, it will be a bit less. But that are details. Hopefully you got the main point, that we have many different educational programs in 4 different cities, but in the same university. These programs, they have slightly different rules of admissions. You have 2 types of results or of admissions according to your results. Either it's free admission, sometimes just for winners, sometimes for the achievers of the first and the second diploma. It depends on the program, it depends on the campus. And also the second option for admission is an admission with financial aid, which is normally 70% of the tuition fee. And oftentimes it is given for the second and the third diploma, or sometimes just for the third diploma if the second diploma gives you free admission. I think that should be perfectly clear. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. Hopefully I will be able to answer you now or later. Otherwise, I don't know. I'll try to find the answer. If not immediately, I'll try to answer you later. Okay. Some ideas, some clues on how to achieve a higher result on the competition. First of all, you should train, right? If you want to get a high result, always, I don't know any exceptions of this rule. Either you want it, either you enjoy the process, or it is sort of a burden for you. It's a bit hard, but you should train. Let's be fair, and we are grown-ups. There are no fairy tales in that clear way. To get a fairy tale, you should train. And in order to train, you should know a bit on the subject you train. So the Olympiad, the competition, if I say Olympiad preparation, I refer to this competition on mathematics. For me, words Olympiad and competition here are absolutely the same, so don't be surprised. So the competition, it consists of 2 parts. The first part is basic. It is mathematics, which could appear not on school lessons, but on school examinations, probably with some additional little hints. But these problems they are basically not that sort of problems which happen on, for example, All Russian Mathematical Olympiad or National Mathematical Olympiad. It is like one stage before. It could happen on our final examinations, for example. And in order to train to this part, you should be ready, like you should be prepared to the general part of, I don't know, like you should know the program, the mathematical school mathematics program well. And when I say this, definitely I refer to Russian school program, but hopefully it differs not that much. And in order to help you to prepare to this part, we will have a cycle of lectures by one of members of our committee. It will be like 10 or 12 lections. They wouldn't be very basic, but they would be for basic part, and they would be like preparational lectures even for the first year of education on mathematics. So they definitely should be helpful for preparing the basic part. The topics of basic part are numbers, the way how to represent numbers, like basic inequalities, beginnings of combinatorics, basic analysis, and some others which you can find in the recommendations on the description web page for our competition. What also you can use besides of our lectures? In order to get prepared to this basic part, definitely you're welcome to use any online courses which you can find. For example, there is this famous resource which is called Han Academy, which is highly recommended. It has topics on different branches of mathematics, and like it's cool, and still it's one of the options. There are many others, so just try to find any corresponding online courses. Also, we have some recommendations. Among that recommendations, we have some textbooks which you are also welcome to study. Just visit the website of the competition and find the file of recommendations. And the second part of the competition is Olympiad part. So those of you who take part in mathematical competitions in your country should be familiar to this system. When you take part in usually how it happens, you take part in local competitions. After that, you have regional competitions, and the most lucky and prepared of you go to the international competitions. So all that steps are steps of like Olympiad competitions. We are not so harsh as international mathematical competition, which is like very specialized. We don't need that level of preparation. So if you are already experienced in Olympiads, like that's very well, that's very good. You're welcome to train more, but basically you know how you can do that. If you are not so experienced, you should do some Olympiad preparations as well. Just study online, for example, what are mathematical Olympiads, how different they are, and very interesting, very nice resource which could be used for Olympiad preparations. So they have even their own Olympiad trainings program. This resource is called Art of Problem Solving. Like, you can divide it into words: Art of Problem Solving, and it grew up from a small project by a person who who takes part in preparing the International Mathematical Olympiad, IMO. But it grew up enormously, like thousands or probably dozens of thousands of people are now using this resource, not just for Olympiad trainings, but also for basic mathematics training. So it's highly recommended. Very nice project. I like it, me personally. First time I registered on this website, it was like 2005, like 15 years ago. It's it's amazing. I'm so very surprised that that little project grew up to this extent. So feel free to use it. I can see a question. Like, sometimes I will make a pause for answering your questions, so feel free to use chat. So the question is mathematics compulsory for psychology students? I'm not sure I got the question correctly, so if I'm not, just give some more details. But I think the answer is that mathematics could be very useful for psychology students, and seems like psychology students will have some courses and have some parts of their work which is mathematical, or which needs mathematical understanding. I can imagine that you should be ready to use statistics, and that means that you should be well prepared to use functions, to understand what is adjustable in this function, what is not adjustable. That is not level of the winner of the Olympiad of our competition, but still it is very good level of understanding. Hello. I don't know if I answered your question. If not, just please specify a bit more, like explain what is your question. That was how to train to the competition. What else can I add to the question, how to achieve a high result? Like, first of all, be prepared in all meanings of this phrase. So be prepared to the problems, be prepared to take part, to be in time, to be prepared to the form of the Olympiad. I will say some words about that just a few minutes later. Be prepared to give the solutions in time. Be prepared to apply for the programs. Just be prepared all the time. That's key secret how to achieve high result, how to get to the faculty and educational program which you want, and generally that's the key secret how to perform well in your life. So it's very uniform, not just for this competition. Okay, I can see, before I go to the next slide, I can see another question. How much scholarship will we take when a person passed this exam? Okay, this question is very interesting. I'll try to find the answer. Everyone who comply with these results, like for example, who get the second degree diploma of the competition, they can enter their faculty. That's not 100% information, because like usually there are some limitations on free admissions for a university, like generally, like for a university and for some particular faculty. That means that sometimes you could need like redistribution, but I don't know how exactly this practice is applied, so I wouldn't say more things. I will just say that, as I know, like from year to year, there still remain some positions, some free positions, or like positions with financial aid for international students. That means that normally we have like free seats, free positions for those who get very nice results on competitions or can apply in some programs for getting these discounts on tuition fee. So like try to find a bit more information, or I'll try. I just don't know how exactly I can transfer the answer back. But normally, if you get the premium, this diploma, you'll be able to enter the faculty. Okay, next slide. Basically, we have just few left. The competition, how long, which of participation, prerequisites. What you should know is that the competition normally is held in two different forms. Not both of them are available in all the countries for, which do participate, but normally you have, like, if you have internet access, then you can take part online. But in some countries there are some problems with sustainable internet connection, and that's the reason why we still keep on-site competition. That means that people literally come to the venue, come to the place, and they take the task and sit there and solve the problems and do all the competition in the same place. So two main options how to take part, either online or on-site. meaning not website, right? Meaning on the place, on the physical place, physical venue, where you can find the organizers and where you can take part, like physically being there and physically getting the task and physically writing down with a pen or on a paper. In other cases, like in both forms, you are limited by 3 hours of participation, which is 180 minutes, and that is total time. That means that you should write down your solutions and write down your answers during that time. You have no additional time for making it. Registration, like, I think it's very uniform for both formats. So there is a form on our web page of our competition. You just go through a registration form and like you do it. There are some prerequisites, like technical prerequisites for your personal computer, like meaning all the possibilities of personal computer, like Windows machines, which are usually referred as personal computer, your Mac, like Apple products, if you use them, like all of them are altogether mentioned as personal computers, like laptops, all of this stuff. So you have some rules which you should comply, because there are some special there is some special software which our technical guys use to keep the competition fair. So there is some special software which keeps a record of what you do when you sit at home or at that place where you write your competition. So please learn the rules, like read them, and be sure that you'll be ready to follow them. You will need web camera, you will need like working computer with some special prerequisites, like very basic. For example, you should be able to open some files in PDF. So be sure that you can do that before the competition starts, because when the competition starts, you cannot use any additional help, any additional resources. You should be using just the website and probably your black paper, like this scratches, like scratch paper for writing down some notes, and after that filling up the forms on the website, on the web page. So please, like once more, please study the prerequisites, study what you should do before starting the competition. What's next? The last point is that the how does the competition, the competition's task look like? A competition's task is also some uniform thing across all these two formats, and also, for example, on-site competition will be held in different places. in Asia and in Western Europe, for example, and probably also in the United States and in Africa, in different parts, probably in other countries of Americas. So that means that we will have different tasks, but all of them are in the same form. There would be 10 problems divided in 3 sections. I told you that there are 2 parts, that each condition is divided into 2 parts. That is not very exact information, so like that's not a lie, but it could be like specified. So it's easier to say that there would be 3 parts or 3 sections. The first one, basic, the same as I explained before, and the next part is also divided into 2 parts. So the basic part consists of 6 problems. You can see that in an example task, demonstration task on our web page, but I can also describe that. So the first part, the basic one, it is a part consisting of 6 problems, which are like basically the problems which could happen on examination, like just school examination. They're not 100% the same, but they are mostly on school topics. So like on the school program topics. Just a bit harder. We call it in Russia as like problems with a star mark, like meaning like problems which are a bit harder than just a regular problem in the textbook. And the second part is divided into intermediate part and pro part. They are divided because they have slightly different rules of like in which form to answer to that questions. So basic part, in basic part you just put an answer to each problem, no explanations, nothing more besides answers. And answers are numerical, not a board, usually, at least usually. So usually it's just a number. But maybe we can implement some like words, but not an explanation of a word. So it just answer and that's it. In the intermediate part, you give an answer, like a full answer, and also you give brief explanations. We call it thesis solution or thesis of solution. That means that for if you imagine the entire solution, entire explanation of the problem or the answer, then you have like you collect like titles of the paragraphs of the solution, and you write down sort of the titles and probably some more details. You can find more guidelines and some examples in this demonstration task on the web page. And regarding to the pro part, the third part, it requires the full solution. So it requires the full proof, and oftentimes it even doesn't have any answer. So the statement in the problem would be prove that like something happens. So and also these 3 parts, they are marked in a different manner. So each problem from the basic part costs 7 points. intermediate part costs 13 points, pro part 16 points. I'll try to write it down. Seven. 13. I don't know. It's more. So it will be 7, 13, and 16 points. Okay, like this. Not like this, but like this. 2 problems in the pro part, 2 problems in the intermediate part, and 6 problems in the basic part, which sum up to exactly 100 points in total. That's like more or less everything for this question. And we have a question in chat. What is the fate of those that didn't pass the competition? Actually, I have no idea what does that mean. If you mean that if somebody takes part in the competition and fails, that doesn't mean much for the admissions commission. Like you just don't earn this sort of admission, but you can enter the university by other means. You can pass examinations, you can go to different faculties and so on. So all the other options will be still open for you, if I understood correctly your question. Okay, the last slide, and that would be more or less everything for today. It's about topics of the problems in the different parts. So here you can see what I already mentioned. So the answers will differ for these 3 parts. You can get more information and like refresh the information in the so the pro part usually has combinatorics and algebra. So these are 2 key topics for this, but not take that too literary. That doesn't mean any sort of guarantee that all the tasks will have combinatorics and algebra on these positions this year, but like that is very likely. So I'll write it here. So normally it's Combi plus algebra. For example, number theory. Algebra is different. So in algebra we have inequalities, we have different sorts of questions about functions, and also we have number theory. So last year we had many problems on number theory on the last positions. Intermediate part, normally has geometry and combinatorics. So don't be surprised too much. Combinatorics, like some people say that combinatorics is everything in mathematics, which is hard to attribute to other groups. Other groups are geometry, algebra, and probably probability. What else? And if you cannot attribute some particular problem to like any particular area, like algebra or analysis, then you say that it's combinatorics. So that means that combinatorics is very different, it's various, and also it's interconnected to all these areas. So don't be too surprised too much about that. So normally it's combi plus geometry, like classic two-dimensional geometry. And here we have various problems like equations, inequalities, like all the stuff which could happen, which could be formulated, invented about the usual program of mathematics in a high school. Like this. And mostly that's everything I wanted to tell you today. So if you have any questions, you are welcome to ask them now. Also, we will have a webinar, like welcoming webinar in Russian, which will be held in Russian on 18th of June. You can also visit that one. We will also have two special webinars where we will consider the solutions of demonstration tasks, and also we will have a cycle of lectures for basic part preparations, and also we will have several webinars, several lectures on Olympiad preparations. So stay tuned. Keep an eye on the schedule. So just find the schedule of the lectures. Everything could be found on our web page. of our competition, which you should know as you found this webinar. And like, hopefully we will see each other on the competition, maybe in this indirect way through get some diplomas, and also hopefully we will meet somewhere in higher school, university later on when you use this diploma. So good luck to all of you. I wish you very good time preparing to the competition and very good time on the competition, and I wish you good fruits for your preparations, and I wish you all the best. So see you and goodbye.